Good morning, fellow fantasy football freaks. What's up? It's your buddy, the Tyrant, up in here. Hopefully, you're having a good morning this morning. Good Halloween weekend. Hopefully, let's get some Halloween action in this background. I know it's like Halloween's come and gone and shit, but it's still Halloween weekend. Let's put some of that on there. Hold on, before it goes away. Let's get some in there. While the rest of you are coming in here, let's hook it up. Hold on a minute. Hopefully everyone had a good Halloween and all that. If you have kids, hopefully they didn't drive you crazy with all the candy and shit. Hold on, I'm trying to find a good. Is that the one? I think that's right. Anyway, sorry. Just getting that the background going here because I want something a little more fun. But yeah, welcome in everyone. We got the got the Halloween NFL field thing going on. Just a little end to Halloween weekend for all y'all. We don't like to see it go away so soon. The fucking holiday season goes by so fast. Let's savor it, enjoy it. Hey, for those of you who saw the past episode of the Benches and Bumps, hopefully you liked it. Little special guest from Candor the Great, the waiver wire wizard. Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Hey, you should do a waiver wire show too." I'm like, "Yeah, I should also be like, paid to do all of this." And then I'd have time to, because unfortunately I've got a day job. I have to work that. So that's why I don't have like so many shows. In fact, actually, I'm just announcing here that I'm going to be taking a break off of Benches and Bumps next week. I know, sucks, but I'm just not, I don't have the outlet that I used to have to get it out to the right audience. And, the people that did see it, they're like, "Oh, wow, it's back. I love it. Hey, good." And I'm going to continue to do it, but just I'm going to take a break off next week to catch up and actually work my job and make some money. And then hopefully, yeah, it's by next season, I'll hopefully actually have a job doing this for real. As a career, working for some guys. I've got some interviews lined up. I got more people I'm talking to. I got fantasy football group that wants to bring me in. As one of their analysts. And if I can do that, then hey, it's my day job, and then I can actually do shows every day like I used to. So that'll be fun. And when I do, I'm going to have a waiver wire show like I used to, and that will be hosted by Candor the Great, the waiver wire wizard. So look forward to that in some point in the future. So, but for now, this is what we got. So yeah, I'm going to take next week off from Benches and Bumps, just to catch up and work and things like that. But I'll bring it back hopefully the next week or the week after. So, you want me to actually, oh shit, my fucking battery's going to run out of my mouse. Oh, that's not good. Oh, well, I probably have to break out a backup. Anyway, so sorry about that. But yeah, next week I'm taking off from that because I have to work a day job. So I don't know. Maybe if I get some more views, it'll be better. I had a lot of views last week, and I think this week it just dropped off a little bit. It's weird. I barely got 100 out of that video, and I'm used to getting like over 1,000 views and shit. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So people are just busy. Let's start off this week 9. It's crazy. This is like one of the crazy, and here we go with the lagging. We'll just get through the lagging. It happens. It always started off the show. The system has to wake up or whatever. I don't know why my mouse battery's draining so fast. Anyway, We'll wait for the glitching to stop, and then I'll start the show. Got some good questions. Hopefully you can still hear me while the glitching bullshit is happening. I know it's frozen. Hopefully you can still hear me. If you can't, then I don't know. Whatever. Wait for me. Catch up. That's a horrible pause face. At least it should be funny. I should make funny faces or some shit. Let me know if you can still hear me. Say, hey, I can still hear you. It's just frozen. You know. Let me know either way. Oh my God, I'm getting all kinds of updates here. Sorry. What's up? Things glitching out. Want me to pay for it, but it's like, don't pay. I don't know. Shitty event or whatever. Hey, can't hear. That'll help. Thing that I can funny. Oh, hey, there we go. I think we're back up. Let me know if everyone can hear me and see me and shit again. Going through some glitchy witchy times. Hey, I think we're back up though. So hey, what's happening, everyone? Welcome to the show. We're gonna get started here in just a sec. I'm gonna light up the ceremonial morning J. I've got cereal milk here, because it's the morning. It's breakfast time. Cereal milk, right? Cereal milk's great. That's like the best part, especially if you have like Cocoa Puffs or some shit, and like it turns gives you chocolate milk. You get cereal and chocolate milk. Anyway, I'm gonna light it up. Let me know what you thought of the Halloween benches and bumps. I worked really hard on it. I thought it was like the best, funniest episode I ever did. Even if it can't help you this week, go ahead and watch it for a laugh. I mean, honestly, go check it out. Benches and bumps for this week. If you really liked it, let me know, because that's how I continue to do shows and things. If you actually like it, people actually watch it. So got people coming in. Good. Hey, let's get this party started. What's up? Good morning. Cheers for Halloween and happy 420. Hey, thank you, Matt. Good to see you. I need to get a little bit of water here. I got my football cup. That's how dedicated I am. I drink water out of a football. All right. What's up, Tyrant? Hey, Chris Cody up in the house. Corey Hernandez, good to see you. Favorite bet of the day, your opinion? TIA. I mean, do you mean just like as a game, or wait, hold on. Wish you had more sponsors. I like it. Yeah, me too. I'll get there. It's a process. It's just, part of the process. I haven't been doing it too long, so I just kind of started out of nowhere and doing it my own way, and that has been difficult because there's a way everybody does it. And it's like, I like doing things my own way. I'll figure it out. But I've actually got some sponsors and some things that could be hooked up here pretty soon. So I'm working on it, getting closer to that. Thank you. But let's get back to the other question. Favorite bet of the day. I don't know. I mean, I talked a lot about some of my best starts on benches and bumps, some sleepers. One thing I'm going to say this. Trevion Henderson today is going to show you all why you're a patient. And it's going to make those who were patient, it's going to pay off. So that's what I say. Your Trevion Henderson patience pays off today. The Hendo wait is over. Let's watch it happen. That's my favorite bet of the day. I don't know if it's the best bet of the day, but it's my favorite one. I fucking love it because I got a lot of I got a lot of Trevion Henderson in like that. Well, I mean, excuse me, especially in Dynasty. So I'd love to watch that pay off. So I think that's a good bet there. Glitchy witchies. Put that up for a minute. So hold on. We'll get through the glitchy witchies. While that's happening, I'm going to do the ceremonial morning pour. We got Widmer Hefeweizen once again. I love it. It's good shit. If you had, I'm sure you probably know what it is. If you know, you know. If you don't, you probably don't drink. So here we go. Widmer should sponsor me and give me free beer that I'll drink on my show. That would be badass. All right. A little too much. I ain't a bartender. What do you want? I'll let that settle down for a minute. But good morning as people are coming in. We're getting through the glitchy witchies. We're done with that. All right. So let's get this started. Okay. First question of the day. Walker or Charbonnet? I've got some leagues where I've got both of them because ultimately it's like I was kind of joking about it a bit on my hold on, let me put that away. I was joking a bit about it on Benches and Bumps, or maybe Candor the Great was joking about it on Benches and Bumps, and talking about in that case, Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones, and how we don't want players to get injured, but sometimes we're like, could one of these guys just get hurt? I mean, we don't really want it, but at the same time, it's like that, these committees like that, just if one guy goes out, then we know who the guy is. And that's the problem that we're facing with the Seahawks. Is both these guys are kind of they're good players. I think Kenneth Walker it's just he's got a bum rap with them picking up Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet, if he was like on another team, he'd be the number one running back for sure. I think in this whole sometimes the committee works out like with the Lions, for instance. It's like kind of they complement each other. With a case like the Seahawks with Walker and Charbonnet, they just get in each other's way. It's just like Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. So honestly, I can't start any of them. But if you're like absolutely forced to start one of them, I mean, I guess I'm gonna start Walker, but I would not with any confidence. There's no reason to start Charbonnet if Walker's in there. I'll put it that way. It's not like there's going to be games. I mean, there are going to be games where Charbonnet outproduces Walker. But those are harder to predict, and it's not like it wouldn't be the matchup that I would go for. It's just going to happen by happenstance. It's not going to be, excuse me, it's not going to be something predictable. So I got to go Walker on that one. Hopefully you have better options. Let me know. But yeah, that's what we got. Slow morning, everyone. Goodness. What's going on? Yeah. Jesus, where did everybody go? Usually I got like 12, 15 people up in here. It's just the three of us or four of us. We're just hanging out. It's cool. I don't mind that. I'll chill for a minute. Of course, the one morning where I'm like, it's a Q&A episode only. I didn't get the weekly stream because I mean, a lot of that stuff I've done on Benches and Bumps anyway. The weekly streamers or sleepers and that kind of thing. And, we can go over that shit. I mean, I know I definitely have some people in mind that I definitely want to get into your lineups this week, like Henderson. Okay, so we'll talk about the Cardinals running back situation here in just a second. We actually got a question. What's up, Matt? Slow morning this morning. Good to see you, though. Flex PPR, Warren or Sutton. Both are bad matchups, I know, but that's where I'm at. Yeah, I've got Warren as a sit or a bench this week. And then Sutton was kind of like a bust alert. Like he's going to get the Stingley treatment. I don't like it. So personally, between the two of them, I'm going to put Warren in, just because it's more guaranteed, solid. He's going to get carries. He's going to get touches. He's guaranteed to. With Stingley hanging all over Sutton, I don't know about that. Sutton's not talented enough, I don't think, to combat that. Derek Stingley is he's shut down. He's a shutdown corner by definition. So I just I got to go Warren this week of the two of them. I don't like either, but yeah, I'm with you there. But I would go Warren with it. Good question though. So let's talk about the Cardinals running backs for just a sec while we're waiting for more people to come in. And fuck it, if people don't come in, I'll shut down the damn show. I don't care. What happened? Where did my audience go? Holy shit. I had everyone's like, oh, you had the greatest show ever. Okay. And then nobody fucking shows up for the live show. What the hell? What's happening? What the kind of weird Twilight Zone is this? It's like, oh, you're giving us everything we want, Tyrant. You're giving us the benches and bumps again. But then it's like live show happens and like crickets. I can't do a good impression of crickets, or I'd try. But anyway. Cool, yeah. Hate the matchups, but cool. Yeah, of course, man. No problem. So, yeah, anyway, with the Cardinals running backs, it's a weird situation, isn't it? Man, awesome Halloween show. Thank you. I put a lot of work into it. It was a lot of fun. But I also think that the takes are good. The only problems is that, okay, so I brought out the show, right? And literally, I think it was 15 minutes into after I had uploaded it, we got word that Travis Hunter was injured and going to be out for a while. So that came out of nowhere, didn't it? I mean, we're still trying to get details on that. But it was funny because I had Hunter as a bump up this week. And I felt like for us this season, he could be a big thing. And then he gets hurt. Seriously, 15 minutes after I upload, the fucking news drops. Jesus. Talk about bad luck, man. And I mean, I obviously worse luck for Hunter, Travis Hunter. I ain't trying to take away from that. But it didn't work out too well for me either. But and then at the same time, I'm telling everyone, hey, pick up and start Bam Knight. It's a good matchup this week. Go for it. But then we get news literally again, within an hour of me releasing my show, we get news that Michael Carter was taking first team reps. So, I mean, I think they're going to go hot hand committee. So, honestly, in my opinion, you're not really going to be able to start either one unless you're desperate. And if you are, I'm going to lead toward Carter personally, between the two of them. But I wouldn't trust it. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to do a lot. I think it's going to be a good game for Jacoby. Could be a good game for Marv still. I still like that, even though Kyler Murray isn't actually back. They were saying that he probably would be now that, and then all of a sudden he's not going to be. But we've been hearing that with Purdy too. The injuries have been insane this season, hasn't it? I know we say that the injuries are crazy this year, but this year is beyond. And it's every week. It's okay, it's a new bunch of guys that we got to figure out what we're doing with. And it's not just us that's trying to do that. The teams themselves are doing that. So if the teams can't figure out who the fuck they're going to start, what the hell chance do we have, right? So I'm here, doing all the research that I can to give you the best information I can. So if I put something out and then an hour later a report comes in that changes the whole goddamn thing, I'm sorry. Not much I could do about that. But I thank you, Matt. I enjoyed doing the show. It's a lot of fun to do the benches and bumps. I'm going to take a week off of that, like I said, next week to just kind of, basically so I can go back to work and make some money. It takes away from my money to be able to do those things. Like it eventually, what it's going to do is make me money, being a fantasy analyst, and being paid for it. It's just like an internship, which is cool. I like it, but I still have to have a day job. So anyway, enough rambling on about that. There really isn't much going on. And I don't have, like I said, dude, last week was crazy. I came on, I had all kinds of shit prepared, but like it just a flood of people and questions, and it was great. I love that. This week, what happened? Where did everybody go? Like what? Like I see 4 people. Like usually we have like over 10 people, and then a lot of interaction, a lot of talking. It's sleepy time for everyone. Everyone's asleep this morning. Good Lord. But one time I don't like prepare a shit ton of things, and I just like, hey, I'm going to give you guys what you want. I'm going to just answer your questions. I'm not going to fuck around with all the other shit. It's like, man, maybe I should have. Let's see. Let's talk about, thanks, Paul. Your thoughts on Kansas City versus Buffalo. I think it's going to be a classic like it always is, when we see, like, in my opinion, like the 2 best quarterbacks in the league going up against each other, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. And, every year it's like, okay, is this the year the Bills are actually going to do it? And, we're all knowing that like, at some point they're going to win a damn championship. It's got to happen. And we thought at the beginning of the season, the Kansas City Chiefs were kind of like looking like, oh, no, what happened? They drop off a bit. But then, they knocked off the rust and they're back. They're, rolling right now. And I feel like someone in the AFC is going to take over that spot at the beginning before Burrow got hurt. I was like, I don't know. The Bengals might, but even with Flacco, they might actually still do it. I don't know. You got the Bengals in the mix. You got all those people, but really the Ravens when they're healthy, but they just haven't been this season. The defense especially, it's been rough for them. So maybe it's an off year for them. So maybe it really comes down to the Chiefs and the Bills. And so this could be a preview of the AFC Championship match. Could be possible, or at least some playoff match for sure. I'm guessing these are your 2 best teams. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let me take a look at something here. It always is. Chiefs versus Bills is always like, it's always a great game. It's always 5-3 Chiefs versus the 5-2 Bills. It's epic. They should have moved it to the night game. My take on it, Chiefs at Bills. Excuse me. So, what was it in the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship? Yeah, or 32-29. That was the last time they faced each other was in the AFC Championship. 32-29 was the final score. I think this week it could be almost the same. I'm going to flip that. I'm going to give the Bills the win on this one. It's regular season. It's at home. If it was in the playoffs, maybe I'd give it to the Chiefs. But I'm going to give the slight edge to the Bills this week. So that's my take on that game. What do you think? What are your thoughts? It's just going to be an epic fucking game, no matter what. That's, everyone's going to be playing at the best. Everyone's going to be balling out. Fantasy-wise, you can't trust any of the wide receivers for the Bills because you never know who it's going to be. If you're forced to put one in, maybe it's Coleman, maybe it's Shakir. Dalton Kincaid, though, I'm not about this week. Cook's gonna cook it up. Big game for Cook. There you go. On the other side of it, I suggested Hunt as being a sleeper this week. I really think that's true. I don't know what the fuck everyone else is thinking. Like, Pacheco's going to be out. Rashad Smith is in there. Great, but he didn't do shit. Pacheco's not in. Hunt's going to be the guy. I think he's going to have a good week this week. All right. When the fuck is Pearsall coming back? That's a very good question. He and Purdy both. When the fuck are they coming back? I think they come back as a tandem. I really do. And I think they'll come back. Hold on. I'm going to look up something. Because I've been wanting to know this myself because I got a lot of Pearsall. And, of course, I'm a 49ers fan, as you can see. So, yeah, I'm very invested in this because Pearsall is the guy. He's going to be the top wide receiver. Even when Ayuk comes back, I still feel like Pearsall will be the guy, and Ayuk would be more like a decoy, like the most expensive decoy in the NFL. It's kind of what he played last year, honestly. So, John Lynch has been talking about that there is steady progress for Pearsall, which is good to hear. But what everybody is saying is that both of them are looking for a return next week. Now, that remains to be seen, obviously. But we keep hearing, next week, next week, next week. So nothing's changed. It's next week again. It's a PCL sprain. So really the timetable on it shows this is kind of the later end of it. And I think it's imminent. I mean, it's going to be in the next week or two. Unless we hear something different, it's 100% next week or two because unless they change the diagnosis because it just doesn't seem like something that when we were looking at it. They tend to go later on the PCL issues because they want to make sure that the player will be at full speed when they come back. But these damn things, they're stubborn as fuck, so that's why they keep saying, we're optimistic next week. We're optimistic next week. I really feel I've been feeling the whole time like week 10 made a lot of sense. For both of them, for both Purdy and Pearsall in the big game against the Rams. I think they give another week against the Giants. They give another rest. I like to see both of them back next week. If I were to put my money on it, that's what I'd say. They're both back next week, but I guess we'll see. Scott, what's up? Thanks for saving the show, coming in with some questions. Yeah, I know that if we just wasted a little time there, we get the people in with the questions. Normally, that's not a problem, but for some reason this week, everybody's like hungover from like Halloween parties and shit or something. Good morning, Daniel Jones, Jaden Daniels, or Jackson Dart today. I like me some Daniel Jones. I had him as if you didn't see Benches and Bumps, go watch it while you have a chance. Amazing episode as far as everyone else is concerned. It's one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. And in that, I talk about how Daniel Jones is definitely a start. The matchup's really good. I do like Jaden Daniels. I of course, his feet are going to get some stuff. But you know what? Daniel Jones does the same shit. Not the same shit, but he also does. He uses his legs. He gets some runs in there. They're going up against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh sucks against quarterbacks. It's a great matchup. Dude's been, last 3 weeks, he hasn't been under 22 fantasy points. So in good matchups, especially, I love him. His best matchup of the year was against Miami, and that was the best game that he had. So really, he's actually become predictable on the Colts. When the fuck did we think that was ever going to happen? Daniel Jones, you can actually predict to have good games. Holy shit. So yeah, I give me some Danny Dimes this week. It's close between him and JD5, honestly. I do like Jaden McDaniels. I do like Jaden Daniels against Seattle this week. You know, it's prime time, Sunday night football. It's probably going to be a good performance, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Danny Dimes. Jackson Dart, I mean, the 49ers defense uh, has been stopping quarterbacks. What can I say, you know? If anything, I think Tyrone Tracy. I think Tracy's gonna have a good game against the Niners. Dart he could do all right, but it just no. Give me Daniel Jones 100% with that. Coin toss on these two. Good question, by the way. Any reason to back my Steelers against Colts? I'm a believer. No. I just think the Colts have too much. Their offense is too efficient. They're scoring, like it's no tomorrow. They've got it. I mean, look, JT is having a fucking killer season. He's having, this his career season, basically. It's just, dude, that team's put it together. They got a great wide receiver core with Pittman, Downs, and now they've got Warren in there. Alec Pierce coming in once in a while. They're just stacked at this point. Their defense way underrated, and I was saying that coming into the league, and everybody laughed at me. What are you talking about the Colts defense for? And yeah, Colts defense. Look at what they've been doing. Shit. Anyway, so yeah, I'm actually no reason to back your Steelers. Sorry, I like the Colts in that game. Start to Diggs, Dowdle, Spears, and Walker. I'm not starting Walker until unless you're desperate, and until we see enough of a split in his favor to ensure production. Spears, kind of the same thing. I like Spears out of that backfield. I prefer Spears over Pollard. Out of the other backfield, I prefer Walker over Charbonnet. So, but they're both, unstartable right now, unless you really have to. So I'm going Dowdle. Diggs though. Oh, geez, that's a tough one. I guess I'm going. I have Diggs as a bench this week. But I wouldn't be starting Kenneth Walker. I mean, Spears, it's a good matchup. Actually, I'm going to go Dowdle and Spears. Dowdle for sure, and then Spears. Who sits? PPR, Parker Washington, Diggs, or Laporta? Diggs. Have Gadsden as my starting tight end. I don't know about that this week. That might be shaky this week. I think that the Chargers are going to just run it, and they're not going to need to do much else. But Gadsden could get lucky on in the end zone. But actually, the Titans defend tight ends pretty well. Tight ends, whatever. But yeah, the Titans defend tight ends pretty well. So that Gadsden choice, I don't know. I kind of like Laporta a little bit better in there. But if you're gonna start Gadsden at tight end, and you got the other ones, I like Parker Washington. I think Parker Washington's a really good pick up this week, a sneaky DFS play. So yeah, I'm sitting Diggs. Good question. Nicholas Lapuerta, good morning, sir. Full PPR. Flex Hendy or Charbonnet? We're going Hendy. We're going ham on Hendy. I wish I had like cool sound effects of like something, I don't know. Rockets blasting off because dude's going to the moon. Yeah, it's his chance to shine. It's his chance to showcase the patience. The patience is paid off, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get a big week from Hendy. Mark my words. Start Henderson this week, 100%. Houston or San Francisco, I can't pick against my Niners. Well, wait, what are you talking about? That was last week's game. Oh, you're talking about as a defense? I mean, Houston, I guess. Going up against Denver, yeah, I think it's going to be like a knockdown, drag out, defensive, run it in the trenches kind of a game. So yeah, I definitely would take Houston as a defense there. Richard Ybarra, good morning, y'all. What's up, Richard? Good to see you. Drop your question down in there. Yes, defense. Sorry, no, it's cool. I figured it out. I just was stuck because last week they did face each other, so my brain was like, "Wait, what?" Anyway, thanks as always. Hey, thank you, Scott. Thank you, and yeah, Richard, get a question in there. Good morning to you, though. Reichel, that is a hell of a damned avatar there. I love Patrick Willis, and he's ripping apart Marshawn Lynch with rainbow and Skittles and blood. I liked it. That's cool. Where the fuck did you find that? That's awesome. Anyway, is Myers still a viable option even though Gino's asked here? I know Myers has been trying to get traded and all. No. I mean, you got to have somebody else bet on your team. I mean, you know, he hasn't done shit. What, the first two games, he had 10 and 12 targets, and since then, he hasn't had more than 7. What does that tell you? That offense is just complete ass. And it sucks because Ashton Genty is someone obviously we want to do well, but he ain't going to do well with that offense running the way that it does. Geno Smith ain't the fucking answer. I don't know why anybody keeps going with him or thinking that he is anything. He ain't shit. You plug him in and he's, maybe he's not going to shit the bed entirely, but he's not going to win you a game. Are you kidding me? Jesus. Geno Smith. Now, fuck that shit. I honestly, Myers, no. Wait a minute. Let's look at the schedule here. Who are you facing this week, Reichel? You're facing Tracy? Oh, yeah, start Myers. Great start this week. Anyway, yeah, right. Reichel's a buddy of mine. He's in our my fantasy. He's actually in my league of record. One of my good buddies. Good to see you, Reichel. Glad you're awake this morning, and that you got questions for me before like 5 minutes before we fucking start. All right. Richard, thanks. We got a question. I have Kansas City defense versus Buffalo. Should I grab Houston defense or Cowboys defense today? It's interesting because I'm in a league where I actually do have the Cowboys defense starting because it on paper looks like a good matchup with Kyler Murray out, Brissett in there. But, I can't really go Kansas City against Buffalo because, Buffalo's going to score. I probably am leaning toward Houston defense on this. Just because, look at what they did against the Niners. They're just a hell of a team. I'd say that, you're looking at them, the Broncos, Colts. These are some of, Patriots, some of your best defenses that you were starting week in and week out. I like the Texans. Wait, hold on. Tracy says, yeah, start Myers. Do it. No, just kidding. Golden, Shaheed, Mooney, Slayton are my options versus Myers. Shit. I'm a fantasy analyst first. I'm also your friend. Even though you're going up against Tracy, you're going up against a member of my household. I can't really in good conscience tell you to start Golden because who's going to be the guy every week for the Packers other than Kraft, of course. Shaheed, it's just, it depends on the week. I don't like him week to week. I like him in certain games. Mooney, is Mooney even playing this week? Let me check. If London were out, I'd say, yeah, Mooney's an option. But really, that offense goes through 3 people, and that's Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts to a lesser extent. Mooney, I'm not even worried about just dropping him. I don't even care about him. So And Slayton's same kind of diff. Honestly, of those four, I would say Shaheed. If I was going between Shaheed and Myers, I'd probably go Shaheed. So there you go. Gus, League A, play 2. What? League A, play 2. Brown or Pirine, or JCM or Mason. All right, I'm trying to decipher your question here. Okay, so we're talking Chase Brown or Pirine, 100% Chase Brown, or JCM or Mason. I'll play 2. Okay, I see which. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm going with. Let's go Brown and Bill. Brown definitely over Pirine. Bill just because he's a starting running back, and Mason I don't like in that. It's the problem with him and Aaron Jones. It's like I can't start Mason or Jones until one of them, takes a seat back, or he takes the back seat, or gets hurt or something. Sorry, it's just the way it is. So yeah, that's who I like. Chase Brown and Bill this week. Thank you for the question, Gus. Richard, I saw your benches and bumps, which was awesome, but I'm scared to play Caleb Williams over Bo Nix. Convince me. Yeah, that's been the hard thing. Is like Caleb Williams has the best. This I think what I'm saying was that it's his best matchup, or what Candor the Great was saying anyway. Do I agree with Candor? Let's see. Against Cincinnati, against Flacco, yeah, no, I really like it. I like Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati as a defense that I like to pick on with quarterbacks. And I think Caleb Williams is one that he's had his struggles, but he's also had some good games. Against Minnesota, against Dallas, the fantasy point fiesta, everybody fucking goes up against Dallas. But see, Cincinnati is kind of in the same boat, like I said. So, all right, so here we go. Against Dallas, he scored 29.12 fantasy points, 4 touchdowns, 298 yards. Everything his best output of the season. Now I know it's the Cowboys, right? Okay, but that's the thing. The formula there is the Cowboys have an elite offense and a shit defense. Well, that's what we're looking at with Cincinnati. Elite offense, shit defense. I know Flacco ain't Burrow, but Flacco's been playing fairly well. He's got the AC joint problem, which might be an issue, but it's not going to be enough to where, it's going to hinder Cincinnati so much where they're not scoring points against the Bears. The Bears defense is, whatever. They're all right, but they ain't, all that in a bag of chips. So there's going to be a lot of scoring need to be had. Swift is out. I know Monangai is great. I'm sure they're going to be handed off to him, but I think Williams is going to be getting a lot more work in this game. It's hard for me to say that I'm starting Caleb Williams over Bo Nix, just because I have Bo Nix as a sit and I have Williams as a start, but that's so close still. So close still. Let's say Caleb Williams being more like Caleb Williams is more like a sleeper, really. But here's the thing. Here's the problem, and this is the big argument here. Houston, number 1 in the league at stopping quarterbacks. No quarterback is doing shit against them, and that was what I went over on my show. So if you look, see on my show, I talk about how nobody's doing anything. So okay, so Bo Nix versus good defenses versus quarterbacks. Tennessee Titans, 8.84 fantasy points. We don't like that. Chargers, 13.42 fantasy points. Philadelphia Eagles, 17.88. Jets, who aren't even that good against the quarterbacks. They're giving up top 10, 13.36. Now, the last 2 weeks have been against the Giants and those Cowboys, like I said, who are two of the top 5 teams I like to start quarterbacks against. And he had some amazing games there. One of the other teams, that he had a great day against. In fact, his second best output of the season. Get this. Cincinnati Bengals in week 4, 26.74 points. Because that's what I'm saying. Bengals, Giants, Cowboys. Those are 3 teams that you start a quarterback with any sort of like competence at all. You're going to have a good game. Against Houston, though, it's been rough. I think Bo Nix is one of those guys where he's, you're going to start him in the good, in the medium to good matches, but in bad matchups, I don't know, man. He's taking a back seat. Williams, probably his second best start of the season to the Cowboys. So that's why I'm saying, if you're going to start Williams at any point rest of the season, this is the week to do it. If you're going to sit Nix any week rest of the season, this is the week to do that. That's my argument for you. All right, set your own bet if you can't get around that and you still want to put in Nix, I don't blame you. But there you go. There's my explanation. Pick 2 of those 4. I already did. Brown and Bill. League B, pick 3. Dowdle, Hubbard, Mongai, Emmanuel Wilson. Jesus. Well, it's Dowdle and Mongai for sure. Are those really the only options? There's no other, is this for a flex? Is this for a running back spot? There really is no other option. And I have to, shot in the dark, I have to go Hubbard or Wilson. I guess I'm going Hubbard. I don't like it, but I guess I'm going Hubbard. But Dowdle for sure, Monangai for sure. So I'm going to go. But see, if you go Dowdle and Hubbard, at least you're getting the production there. Monangai is a no-brainer. And Wilson, it's just, I mean, they're mixing him in more, but Josh Jacobs is Josh Jacobs, There's no, he's not going to give up the backfield to Emmanuel Wilson, not until he's ready to retire, basically, or until he gets traded or something, or if he gets hurt. Let's knock on wood. Hope that doesn't happen. I know that he's dealing with a calf injury. And that's kind of the concern there, and that's probably why you're asking about Wilson, to be honest. But I don't know. It's not even really that great of a matchup against Carolina. I think this just, I don't know. That's a tough one. 11 attempts last week, 61 yards. He had 4 targets, 3 receptions, 26 yards. I think there's going to be more downfield play in this game. I think that Love's going to want to air it out because he can. And he's got a lot of weapons to do so. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it for Wilson. Let me check something else, though. Sorry. I have a little bit of lag here. Give me just a minute. Yeah, I've been going on the other side there against Green Bay. They're just so good against running backs. I mean, they're top 3 against running backs. So I don't like that matchup. You know what? Actually, I've just convinced myself, go Wilson. Go Wilson, I guess. So Dowdle, Monangai, and Wilson. There you go. It's a very tough question, Gus. Thanks. I love it when people actually come in and have really hard questions for me that aren't like, yeah, easy. Let's go with this. Good one. That made me think. You convinced me. Thank you. This is what the mom from The Good Son must have felt making that choice at the end of the movie. Oh, jeez. I haven't seen that movie in so long, but I know what you're talking about. Good, nice call there. Emmanuel Wilson or Spears. Yeah, it's rough, but I'm missing 3 running backs this week. I'm going to go with Spears on this one. I think that Spears eventually is going to take over, for Pollard. We all know that Spears is the better running back, and it's just a matter of time. It's just, they have to go through the motions of not giving up on the guy they paid the money for, that they brought in, because that's what NFL teams do. We know that. We know the game. But last week he had 9 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Touchdown, of course, helps. He's getting attention in from the pass game, though, from Cam. Yeah, I like Spears. I don't know if he's going to wrestle away that much more of the backfield, but he could get 10 carries. And look, he can do good with 10 carries. You can get 10 carries for like 60 yards and a touchdown, something like that. So yeah, I like him over Wilson for sure. Hey, thanks everyone. Kind of a slow week this week. I think people are still kind of hungover from Halloween parties or what have you. Benches and bumps. I feel like it should have got more views. Go check that out if you haven't yet. Go check out the benches and bumps. We got more shit coming. Hold on a second. Whoa. Sorry, before we go. Who do you think is gonna be the Niners' go-to wide receiver today? Probably gonna be Kendrick Bourne, because it's Mac Jones in there. Jennings is gonna be third and Juwan. That's just how it is. He's been relegated back to that. As far as wide receivers go, yeah, I'm going with Bourne on that one. I still think Kittle's gonna be the top guy, but Kendrick Bourne for wide receivers. Yeah. That's been Mac Jones' guy. Can't go away from it. Dylan, what's up? Morning. Let's have a day. Full PPR, 1 flex. T. Higgs versus Kraft. Huh. Warren at tight end. I got you. Projected to be a close matchup with my opponent. All right. So you got to make sure that you get this right. All right. Let's help you out here. Now, like I was saying earlier, Tucker Kraft is basically the guy catching the balls for Green Bay that you can most rely on, because the other guys, there's going to be one of them. It could be Dobbs, could be whoever else. Watson's back. We got Wicks in there. You got Golden in there. It could be any of those guys, but we know it's going to be Kraft. We know Kraft's going to get his week in, week out. He's going to get his. Warren, you're not taking out a tight end position. So are you going to, flex Kraft? I think it's a good play. Carolina has actually given up some of the most fancy points. Let me get the actual stats here. Yeah, they're bottom 10 against tight ends. It's, you got to think of in this case, especially like, okay, we're talking full PPR. So you got to think about that as just being another wide receiver at that point, especially when you're talking about someone who's the top target of the team as a tight end, like Tucker Kraft in this case. So you're looking at him more like you would a wide receiver. I'd say like a wide receiver 2, thereabouts. Usually you treat Kraft like a wide receiver 2. Okay. So then you're saying a wide receiver 2 versus another wide receiver 2 in T. Higgins. Now, looking at Higgins here, so just give me a second, pulling up the information. T. Higgins, why didn't everybody come in the beginning? Everyone's coming in at the end of the show, which is fine. I'll go longer, but it's like it was so slow at the beginning. I could have used you then. All right, yeah, against Chicago, I think it's a good matchup, but honestly, go with Tucker Kraft. He's been the go-to guy for Green Bay. Flacco has been fine. I think he's going to go more toward Jamar Chase. I think that the AC joint issue, we're going to see a lot from both Brown and Pirine. In fact, let me go back to no, never mind. No, hold on. Wait, what was that one pick 2 where there's a bunch of oars and it was all right. I almost want to see Pirine over Bill, but I can't do it. Brown and Bill there. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go Kraft on that one just because you know that he's going to be getting the passes. You got to treat him like a wide receiver 2. So you got 2 wide receiver 2s, and the better matchup in this case goes to Kraft. So I'm going Kraft. There you go. Good question though, Dylan. Thank you. The PPR start Pitts or start Kincaid. Possible shootout. Yeah, but Um, hold on. Yeah, but it's not a good matchup for Kincaid. But see, in this case, you kind of have to go back to the same sort of thinking as Kraft. I do have Kincaid as a bench this week, just because it's not a great matchup. I think there's going to be a lot more running. I think there's going to be a lot more. We don't know who it's going to go to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've thought that the Kincaid thing was a sure thing, but in fact, Josh Allen's passing a lot more to Coleman and Shakir now. So I think it's going to be a great week for Pitts. I'm going to give Pitts the slight bump over Kincaid this week. Got to go with that. I'm having an issue right now where my mouse has run out of juice. So I'm not sure how to fix that. I don't know why my mouse ran out of battery all of a sudden, but it has. So bear with me. I'm going to answer the last couple questions here. I can see them. You can't. So I'm going to answer them anyway. Richard Ybarra says, Horton or Boot standard? I'm going to go with Keyshawn Boot in this case. I know with Cooper Kupp out, Toy Horton is an all right option. I don't know, though. It's just going to filter a lot through JSN. They're probably going to be, splitting it a lot between Walker and Charbonnet. Sorry, this mouse thing is really bothering me that I can't use the mouse. Oh, shit. I have a backup. Oh, damn. Hold on. Bear with me. I don't have a way to get to my backup. So I'm going to just answer your question and head out. But I don't even know how I'm going to end the stream. You're going to be sitting there watching me like fuck around for a little bit. It's going to be fun. That's great. Hold on a second. Give me just a second. Sorry, I'm trying to get a replacement mouse. I don't know if we're trying to figure out where it is. Bear with me here. But anyway, so the question that I'm answering right now is the Horton versus Boot question. You guys can't see it. It ain't on the screen, but I can see it. So I'm going to answer that, and I'm going to go with Keyshawn Boot just because Keyshawn Booty. I know you can't tell which wide receiver it's going to be week to week, but he's been the more consistent. He's been the more consistent one, and I'm edging him out over Horton this week. So then the next question Richard Barr has here is, my son has Bam Knight starting over a Morning Guy in PPR. Is that a good start? Both have the two worst defense. I'm going to go Morning Guy over Bam, and for two reasons. Number one, Guy looked really good when he was in there. Actually, three reasons. One, Guy looked really good when he was in there. Hold on a second. Sorry about that technical issue. So, my son has Bam Knight started over Guy, possible shootout. Oh no, that was a different thing. Sorry, I'm reading two things once. I like I would go Guy over Bam Knight. Three reasons. One, Guy looked really good when he was in there in relief of Swift. So that's number one. Number two is it's a little bit okay, no, I'll give you two. Yes, the matchup is better. No, I'll give you three. The matchup is better for Bam, but the team is better for the Bears. The Falcons have looked like shit, and it's going to be it's going to be a split there between Bam and Carter, and that's the third reason. Carter might be the one getting the first team reps. That's what we were seeing in practice over the weekend. Like I said, I put out my show. I said Bam was a bump for me. The problem is an hour after I put out that show, they're saying, "Oh, Carter, is off the practice squad and he's now taking the first team reps." So I think they're going to go hot hand committee there. There's no one really that I can trust. But I just think Monangai is going to get all the carries there. I realize it's not. Oops, sorry. Yeah. I know it's very low. I got my mouse back for a moment, so give me just a second. Here's the question. So give me a second. Bringing it up. Bear with me. Where is it? There we go. So here's the thing. Okay, so we're going against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is giving up the number. This is the other reason. Cincinnati is giving up the number one overall. Both have the two worst defense. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so Cincinnati is actually giving up the most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Monangai looked great against Swift, and Bam is going to have carries taken away from him. Those are your three reasons why I'm starting Monangai over Bam this week. Simple as that, Richard. We're going to take this last question and then head out. Aaron Rodgers hurt his arm on the pregame warm-up, so I hope that doesn't hurt Warren's production. I think it could. So, yeah, I'm benching Warren. Any questions there? Honestly, but see, then he could run. It's not a good matchup. I still think there was a question back here, Warren or Sutton. I still think Warren is the safer play because Sutton's going up against Stingley, and I don't think he's a good enough running back. I mean, wide receiver to contend with Stingley. So good luck at all. Thanks, Tyrant. Yeah, so there you go. Warren, yeah. Okay, Rodgers is hurt, but I still think Warren will. I still think it's not going to be a good matchup for him, but between him and Sutton, I'm still going Warren for the sure point. So anyway, hey, thanks everyone for showing up in the last fucking 5 minutes of my show. Come next week, get here sooner. I start at 8:30, 8:40-ish in the morning Pacific time. Maybe it must be the fucking clock or the daylight savings time fucked everyone up. I don't know. But anyway, bizarre show, but we'll have a better one next week. No benches and bumps. I'm taking a week off because I got to work. Still watch the last benches and bumps in the last 15 minutes here before you start, you guys, because good information there, plus they're a lot of fun. But anyway, so I'm out. Love you all. I'll see you next week for another great episode of Benches and Bumps. Get here earlier. Don't leave me hanging. I love you all. And until then, I'm out. Peace.